Welcome back to Military Power. Today we're taking a deeper, expanded look at why something very bad may be approaching. Iran's regime in 2026, not as a sudden dramatic explosion, but as a slow-moving, high-pressure breakdown that becomes harder to stop with each passing month. From the outside, the regime continues to project an image of strength. Military drills are larger, rhetoric is sharper, and officials speak confidently about resistance and resilience. This exterior update is carefully managed. New weapons are unveiled, alliances are advertised, and the message is clear: Iran is standing firm. But this appearance is increasingly disconnected from reality. Diplomatic isolation is no longer temporary, it's structural. Even countries that once quietly supported Iran are recalculating, limiting exposure and demanding more in return. Sanctions are not just still there. They are smarter, more targeted, and harder to bypass. The exterior looks reinforced, but the foundation underneath is under constant stress. Now comes the real performance review, and this is where the warning signs multiply. Economically, the system is running inefficiently. Inflation continues to erode purchasing power. Wages lag far behind prices, and the middle class is shrinking. Young people especially feel locked out of opportunity. This is dangerous for any regime, but especially one that relies on ideological loyalty. When belief fades and survival becomes the main concern, control gets more expensive. Militarily, Iran still maintains influence through asymmetric tactics and regional networks, but sustaining them is draining. Logistics cost more, funding is less reliable, and every external operation increases domestic pressure. Performance isn't collapsing, but it's no longer improving. And stagnation at this level is a strategic red flag. Maximum speed is another critical factor. In earlier years, Iran could escalate quickly, using regional leverage to shift attention or force negotiations. In 2026, that top speed is restricted. Surveillance is constant. Intelligence sharing among rivals is tighter, and reaction times are shorter. Any rapid move now risks triggering consequences faster than the regime can manage. Escalation no longer guarantees leverage. Sometimes it only guarantees retaliation or deeper isolation. The engine can still rev, but pushing it too hard risks permanent damage. Fuel average tells an even more troubling story. The regime's fuel isn't just oil revenue. It's public tolerance, internal unity, and institutional loyalty. Oil income remains volatile, vulnerable to enforcement and market shifts. Public tolerance is thin, worn down by years of economic strain and limited freedoms. Loyalty within institutions must be continuously reinforced with money, privileges, and protection. This means the system is burning more fuel simply to maintain balance. Efficiency is gone. Every kilometer forward costs significantly more than it used to. Then we get to the price update, and this is where 2026 becomes especially dangerous. The price of control is rising sharply. Surveillance systems, security forces, digital censorship, and crowd control all require funding and manpower. At the same time, social services and infrastructure suffer, creating more resentment. Internationally, the price includes lost investment, restricted trade routes, and reputational damage that limits future options. Strategically, the regime is paying more for diminishing returns. Each decision carries a higher cost and a lower payoff. What makes this situation especially risky is that slow crises are often underestimated. There may be no single event, no dramatic headline that screams collapse. Instead, pressure builds quietly. Small protests, economic frustrations, elite disagreements, and regional setbacks accumulate. The regime responds, but each response weakens flexibility. By 2026, Iran's leadership may find itself trapped, unable to reform without losing control, unable to repress without accelerating decay. This is why something very bad may be approaching, not because the regime is weak today, but because its trajectory is unfavorable. Systems don't fail when they are weakest. They fail when they can no longer adapt. Rising costs, limited speed, inefficient fuel use, and declining performance form a combination that history has seen many times before. For military power, this isn't about predicting an exact outcome. It's about recognizing patterns. In 2026, Iran's regime faces a strategic environment where survival itself becomes the primary objective, and that is often the most dangerous phase of all.